In the past few months, NFTs have become a huge deal on the internet, and not for all good reasons. And we're sure you know, if you've been on any social media site talking about NFTs this year, you also might already be aware that the NFT market's been dwindling and hasn't been able to stabilize itself. For example, Rentable is shutting down, and here's all you need to know about it. First up, the big news. Since we all know what NFTs are, let's talk about how they became this rentable commodity in the first place. Non-fungible tokens have been used to claim ownership of everything from random images to valuable art pieces. But earlier this year, a new phenomenon entered the community: renting out NFTs. Think about it. What does the word NFT need? Renting out original, aka non-fungible tokens to be shared in a subspace. You see, NFTs have been used as digital tickets for entry into various events and social groups, or to access hidden content. Hell, they can also be used for a variety of e-commerce applications and utilities, like selling services online. So as a concept, renting these out safely made the most sense to people, thanks to the new ERC 49007 token standard. To get technical with this for a moment, this new contract permits the owner to define a user and the user's expiration date. As such, it provides NFT owners and NFT renters opportunities to generate revenue in mutually beneficial arrangements. Renting NFTs also provides a space for the experimentation of the tokens that are low cost and cheap fun. It might even help new metaverse native businesses emerge. All this to say, Rentable, the biggest platform for NFT JPEG renting, has announced that the protocol will be effectively shutting down after failing to find a product market fit. We bet that the creator of the protocol, Emiliano Bonassi, saw an opportunity to increase NFT's value proposition. That is to say, an example of the use of this would involve metaverse land rentals, which will be used for hosting virtual events without needing to invest in expensive metaverse real estate. So, why is Rentable shutting down? Well, to put it plain and simple, as Emiliano Bonassi did, Rentable was apparently unable to secure adequate funding and got close to zero traction. You see, the platform's origin was ambitious in its own right, as Bonassi wanted to target a whole other side of the NFT market, one that is often neglected, in a sense of the world. With Rentable's launch, he looked for people to rent out their NFTs that would otherwise just sit in a consumer's wallet collecting virtual dust. As we're sure you're aware, NFTs get a lot of slack for, number one, being awful for the environment, but that's a topic for a whole nother video. And two, for essentially being useless and serving no real purpose. Essentially, NFTs are an artistic nature. You see, claiming that a picture is a non-fungible original and placing intrinsic worth on it only to sell it to people for virtual currency that is also bad for the environment is deemed a bad thing for some. In any case, Bonassi's protocol made it possible for people to actively rent out their NFTs so that they could perhaps serve a decisive function and be useful once more. When the website was announced on Bonassi's Twitter, @MillianBonassi, he seemed excited and claimed, "We made it." He claimed that at ETH Lisbon, he and OX Giovanni kicked off Rentable, and described to be the renting protocol for NFTs with a planet and a sparkle emoji. He claimed that the website would allow people to rent NFTs with no collateral at a fraction of their market price, and that he intended to bring efficiency or scarcity. Now, let's talk about Rentable as a platform. In the announcement tweet, he added a thread detailing his plan for the website. The thread and tweet were posted on the 25th of October 2021, and now, less than a year later, the protocol seems to be shutting down. Back to the thread, Bonassi explained the need for his platform. After all, why would one need to rent NFTs after all? Well, according to him, metaverses and blockchain-based games usually require new users to own highly valued NFTs, and that is to make it an exclusive experience, all while limiting the audience at these platforms. Since many don't possess NFTs, that might constitute as valid for their high entry-level price, and as such, they usually remain idle and useless in an owner's wallet, making them underutilized in general. So Rentable existed as a platform, according to Bonassi, which allowed users to rent assets instead of borrowing them. So it allows users to open uncollateralized loans by simply paying the borrowing interests, which is, to get technical again, would lower the entry barrier, safely generate yield, and also provide loyalties. To put it simply, as Benassi did back then, Rentable brings capital efficiency without diluting supply, lowering the entry barrier for users and increasing platforms' utilization, and claimed that it's a win-win-win solution for renters, owners, and platforms. He then gave a few examples of where his platform could be utilized best and move on to talk about user benefits, etc. The beginning of the end, perhaps? Back in June of this year, that is 2022, the protocol offered its services to Decentraland users, MeBits holders, and the Lobster DAO. This lets the users of NFTs from each entity earn a yield without any risk of liquidation, said Benassi. He then explained that the mission of Rentable from the very beginning was to be agnostic, fully and completely, and also enable rentals without being tied to a specific use case. Rentable v2 managed to enable any DApp to offer rentals to their users without integrations by just using Wallet Connect. As such, Benassi and his team removed any kind of possible barrier for platforms. He also talked about how his team had the possibility to raise, but they chose to wait, and they opted to check the product market fit first and foremost. This is because they had capital for building and auditing. In his talk with Decrypt, he said that the main reason for closing Rentable is that after some pivots, they just were unable to find that fit. We're sure you're wondering, what about users of the app? Well, say you were seduced by Benassi's big talk last October about how this platform was the next big thing, how Rentable was going to change the scope of possibility for the NFT subspace. What now? Well, say you have assets on the platform. This is still time to get them withdrawn. So while withdrawals are still possible, all rentals have now been disabled, and users have until the 13th of October to finish those up themselves. After that, the protocol itself will launch emergency withdrawals and send tokens to their respective owners. In the tweet announcing the shutdown, Benassi talked about his next steps moving forward, not that this course of action was taken, and about how users were supposed to proceed. In the Twitter thread, he claimed that on the 14th of October, the protocol will be suspended and the official front end won't be accessible anymore. He also said that if there were any remaining listings after that date, the government will execute emergency withdrawals and transfers to their respective token owners. He also wrote that all smart contracts codes are open sourced, so the community is welcome to play around with those. And unfortunately, the Telegram, Discord, Twitter, and Medium servers or communities will be decommissioned. What now? All this to say, Benassi admitted in the thread that he was responsible for the platform's outcome and that he failed. But despite that result, he is still very proud of what they managed to create. He wrote in that very thread that during the year he learned a lot and also explored this interesting design space between DeFi and NFTs called MetaFi. He then thanked the team for all their effort and work, the users and partners of the server, the potential investors, and also the competitors for all their feedback and support. Finally, what does the future of NFTs hold? And that's not all. It would be fair to say the NFT market truly saw its highs and lows this year. From Bored Ape profile pictures on Twitter to getting endorsed by various celebrities, the NFT subspace has changed a lot since its market boom in 2021. Of course, the Bored Apes drama was entertaining to watch rise and fall, but even so, experts believe in the potential of NFTs. Take video games, for example. That industry has already started introducing NFTs into their conjectures, and while there are some who are still delivering digital assets as part of games, it's not so widespread as of yet, but who knows what the future holds. And that's all for this video. What do you think of Rentable's shutdown? Would you be interested in operating a website like that? Let us know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed watching the information, be sure to leave a like and share the video. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications by pressing the bell icon to get notified every time we post a new video. And we will see you next time. Thank you for watching.